Hey Hawks, we're talking about copyright. We want you to be in the know, and that means understanding a very complex um, set of laws, but it's something that we have to be very careful about as we want to make sure that we give credit to the person that creates any information or any ideas that are going to be used by you or by ourselves. We want to make sure that we understand copyright because we are information users, all of us, and we want to understand how to give credit. Last year we talked about when to cite, when you needed to cite, what kind of information, where you got it, so on and so forth. So we're going to add to that this year. So the 7 most important facts about copyright that you need to know is that copyright begins on creation of something that will become fixed. It does not simply, it does not just protect ideas or titles. Those also have to be separately addressed. And sometimes you could say, I had the idea for that, or someone said, oh, I should get credit for that. Well, you know what? Copyright doesn't work like that. While it may be instant, you've got to be able to make sure that you've got proof. You've registered your artworks, your musical works, your performances. Copyright is a set of rights that protects the creator of that poem. We wrote poems and we submitted them last year. Your copyright will almost certainly outlive you. As a matter of fact, it starts at about 50 and can go up to 95 years after a piece of art has been created. And working for hire isn't simple. If you are an employee and you create something for your employer, guess what? Your employer has copyright, not you, the creator. And fair use through, if we're going to use something that is not for financial gain, it is not a right. So very interesting. We're going to focus on our school symbol that is just basically it's a board that we've gathered resources for you to go back and reference. So I've gathered some things on our Symbaloo board that will help you be able to go back and instantly access information about copyright through certain categories. So we're going to talk about artwork, newspaper articles, choreography, performances, performance arts, literature, poetry, uh, Creative Commons. We've got some more collected on music and TV. And then, of course, all of your favorite music. Um, right now, I know we're listening to the In My Feelings songs. Well, guess what? Whoever wrote that song, I don't know if it's your favorite artist Drake or not, but guess what? That music is copyrighted and it belongs to that creator. So at our contemporary arts, we're going to look at this. I gathered some things about to answer some question about copyright and what it does for artists, and it talks about all of the different things, cartoons, craftwork, maps, and plans that are have protection under copyright law. Another one that I thought was exceptional here is through the Art Society, Artist Rights Society, and it talks about all kinds of the different rights that and who owns the copyrights to different artworks. What I think is fascinating. More information on music copyright. Common Sense Music has a great video on music rights, so that's going to be something you can go back and access over time. Movie and TV shows. I know I can remember hearing about a school that got in trouble because they showed a Disney movie, and Disney has the copyrights. And guess what? The school got into a legal battle through Disney over showing movies. So that's why we're so careful here at our school, and we want to make sure that we use our SWANK licensing to help us stay on the right side of copyright and fair use. Another category is on newspapers and articles that have to be accessed very carefully if we're going to talk about information and subjects that are going to be addressed through copyright. And it tells all about the legal aspects and exclusive rights on copyrighted works. So I think that's very interesting. If you, I think this is great. You as a student, if you created something through our school newspaper, guess what? You can use a trademark or get a copyright on that. We've talked about plagiarism and citation in our library, so we want to make sure that we cite that very carefully on newspapers. Choreography. If it's a dance that has been performed and it is published and written down and it's fixed, all of the steps, guess what? Copyrighted. So you can't say, oh, look, I wrote this dance up and then I'm going to go perform it and not give the choreographer rights. You can't do that. Here's some more things on dramatic performances and musical performances. If you're going to be using excerpts from musicals, look, it says you cannot exceed something that's over 25 minutes. You cannot use a complete act from a musical play without giving citation and giving that credit for that copyright. Let's see. We talked about, oh, this is great. This answers great questions about the difference between copyright and Creative Commons, because you've seen this sign before, copyright Commons, Creative Commons. It gives rights to different licenses, and it will make sure if you're using something not for profit, if it's not for commercial, then it's going to show you how to do that and give credit for that. And then the last category I'm going to talk about is copyright for different types of fixed media. There's one for all kinds of information on poetry and literature works.